Scene script. Have you ever wondered how our muscles get the energy to function during physical activities? Well, let's unravel the mystery of muscular energy. It all comes down to a pivotal molecule called adenosine triphosphate, or ATP for short. ATP is the key player in meeting the energy demands of our muscles when we work out, run, or simply lift a cup of coffee. Now, why is ATP so crucial, you might ask? ATP is the primary compound that's indispensable for muscular work. Think of it as the chemical currency that supplies the energy required for muscle contraction. When ATP breaks down, an enzyme called ATPase facilitates the process, releasing a significant amount of energy. This energy release is what sets the wheels in motion for muscle contraction. It's quite fascinating to note that no other enzymes are involved in this part of the process. This underscores the exclusive reliance on ATP for activating muscle contraction. ATP is like the VIP guest at the energy party in our muscles, without whom the party can't start. However, maintaining adequate ATP levels in muscles is not as easy as it might sound, especially during prolonged exercise. The challenge lies in the fact that the concentration of ATP in resting muscles is initially quite low. So when you transition from rest to exercise, especially submaximal exercise, there's a significant increase in the rate of ATP utilization. This emphasizes the need to match ATP production with its utilization for sustained activity. In situations of intense exercise where ATP utilization may outpace its production, you might experience rapid fatigue. This is why adjusting exercise intensity becomes a strategy to synchronize ATP production with utilization. It's a bit like turning the volume knob on a stereo. You need to find just the right level for the best sound, or in this case, the best performance. So, maintaining adequate ATP levels becomes crucial for prolonged exercise. Not only for the sake of performance, but also for the health and longevity of our muscles. The mystery of muscular energy is undeniably enticing, isn't it? Let's delve deeper into it in the next scene. Transitioning from rest to exercise significantly increases the rate of ATP utilization. This sudden surge in energy demand presents a challenge, maintaining a balance between ATP production and utilization. So, what happens when we engage in physical activity? As we begin to exercise, our muscles demand more energy, leading to an increased usage of ATP. But remember, our resting muscles aren't exactly swimming in ATP. Instead, they contain just enough to kickstart the process. So the question becomes, how do we meet this sudden spike in demand? During intense exercise, ATP usage might even outpace production, leading to rapid fatigue. Ever felt like you hit a wall during a workout? That's your body telling you it's running low on ATP. The solution? Adjusting exercise intensity. This helps synchronize ATP production with utilization, allowing longer periods of activity. But that's not all. To keep up with the muscular energy demand, we need to activate ATP-producing pathways. These pathways involve the breakdown of macronutrients, carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. They're like the fuel for our energy factories, and they're regulated by enzymatic control. This control responds to the muscle's heightened energy demands, ensuring we have enough ATP to keep going. Now let's talk about the cellular energy charge. You can think of it as a supervisor, keeping an eye on ATP levels. When ATP concentration drops below normal resting levels, it springs into action, activating ATP-producing pathways. As exercise intensity increases and the energy charge drops, ATP-generating pathways get a boost. At the same time, ATP-utilizing pathways are put on hold, preserving ATP for muscle contraction. So, as we see, our bodies have quite a sophisticated system in place to ensure our muscles get the energy they need to perform. Whether it's a light jog or an intense workout, our energy demand and supply are constantly adjusted to keep us moving. The cellular energy charge plays a central role in activating ATP-producing pathways when ATP concentration drops below normal resting levels. It's like our body's personal energy manager, ensuring we have enough fuel to power through our activities. So next time you're exercising, remember, there's a whole lot of science happening behind the scenes to keep you going. 3 main ATP-producing pathways related to fat, carbohydrate, and protein metabolism lead to ATP synthesis in the mitochondria of muscle cells. The mitochondria are the powerhouses of the cell, responsible for the majority of ATP production. They function like tiny factories, processing the raw materials we feed our bodies and converting them into usable energy. Let's delve deeper into the role of mitochondria. They are incredibly active during both resting and exercise conditions. Whether you're lounging on the couch or running a marathon, These tiny power plants are hard at work, synthesizing ATP. But the intensity and duration of the activity can affect how ATP is produced. This brings us to the distinction between aerobic and anaerobic activities. Aerobic exercises like long-distance running or swimming require oxygen and are dependent on mitochondrial ATP production. On the other hand, anaerobic exercises like sprinting or weightlifting rely on immediate energy sources. This is because these high-intensity, short-duration exercises require ATP faster than our body can produce it through aerobic metabolism. A key player in both aerobic and anaerobic ATP production is carbohydrates. They are the only macronutrient that can be broken down both aerobically and anaerobically. During anaerobic breakdown, one glucose molecule is converted into 2 ATPs and 2 lactic acids. It's a quick and dirty process that allows us to meet the immediate energy demands of high-intensity exercise. But when we're talking about efficiency, aerobic pathways take the cake. The aerobic oxidation of one glucose molecule can produce a whopping 30 ATPs. That's 15 times more than anaerobic breakdown. So while it may take a little more time, aerobic metabolism provides us with a much greater return on investment. And let's not forget about fats. Energy-dense fats, like the 16-carbon palmitate, are like the heavy lifters of ATP production. When oxidized, they yield a substantial amount of ATP, so even though carbohydrates are often seen as the go-to energy source, fats play a crucial role in keeping our muscles moving, particularly during prolonged, low-intensity exercise. Energy-dense fats like 16-carbon palmitate yield substantial ATP upon oxidation. So whether you're a fitness enthusiast or just curious about how your body works, understanding ATP production can give you a whole new appreciation for the power within your muscles. In essence, ATP is the exclusive direct source for mechanical work during exercise. This mighty molecule is the chemical currency that fuels our muscles, powering us through every push-up, every sprint, every leap. From the gentlest stretch to the most intense workout, it's ATP that's footing the bill. But ATP isn't a limitless resource. Our muscles only store a small amount, and during exercise we burn through it rapidly. That's where ATP-generating pathways come into play. These powerhouses, activated by the energy charge in our cells, break down carbohydrates, fats, and proteins to keep ATP levels topped up. And let's not forget about the mitochondria, the unsung heroes of the muscular world. These cellular powerhouses are responsible for the majority of ATP production, making them vital players in both rest and exercise conditions. Understanding the distinction between aerobic and anaerobic activities is vital for comprehending the body's energy dynamics during various forms of exercise.